cry, really, from members over these last couple of weeks. I mean, yes, there are some who are tired with the meetings, tired of the therapy sessions, and just want to get back to the business of legislating. But as we have also seen, every time a new candidate's name is brought up, it's hard for them to find consensus. And I have had some members say, no, give us that space and time to do that. And so, it kind of cuts both ways. I think if Republicans are to be thoughtful about this, then perhaps it does make sense to give them some space. But if they continue to duke it out and they just can't get there, then yes, one might question, what's the point?
So one last thing, Nicole. In addition to this breaking news, we had the breaking news that former President Trump's lawyer, Sidney Powell, is pleading guilty in that Georgia case. Former President Trump was a vocal supporter of Jim Jordan and had his, what does he always say in his tweets, his full support, and yet for Republicans who continue to stand by the president, I mean, everybody, it seems recently that the former president is supporting loses.
Well,
right?
the last three speakers were all big fans of Donald Trump and him fans of them.
Yeah, but even like in actual elections,
that's true,
right?
Yeah.
The people that he's throwing his support behind are losing elections, and in this case, Jim Jordan is losing this bid for speakership. Are Republicans starting to finally, and I know the news is new, but this concept isn't new, that, look, Donald Trump is not the kingmaker that perhaps some people make him out to be?
Yeah, well, I think there are some differences of opinion within the Republican conference on that. I mean, keep in mind, a lot of members of Congress have endorsed him and intend to stick by him. But, it is an individual decision for many members, particularly those who are in more vulnerable swing districts, which I think is why some of them are having some difficulty with Jordan, because it's like, is this really a guy that you can campaign with in 2024? We heard from Ken Buck, who had expressed some reservations about Jim Jordan and, for instance, his position on the 2020 election. He just wanted some kind of guarantee from Jordan that he would say publicly that Trump lost the 2020 election, and he claims he didn't necessarily get that. So it is a factor and a decision for some members, but at the same token, as we know, the former president has a very strong base, and that includes here in this Congress, and I don't necessarily expect that would recede.
All right, Nicole Killian for us on the Hill. As always, Nicole, we appreciate your reporting. Thank you.
You bet.
You have to save that question for our politics conversation that we have every Friday.
Oh, right.
Because I think it's a good question, because what we hear over and over again is that the former president still has a tremendous amount of sway within the Republican Party.
Right. And that may be because he's polling amongst other Republican candidates vying for the presidency at like 40% over the next guy, maybe DeSantis. But when it comes to actual real politics, we're not seeing that level of support that that you would have seen, that fealty that we might have seen, 2 or 3 years ago.
Right.
So we'll see. All right. The federal government has a warning about potential threats in the U.S. as a result of the Israel-Hamas war. After the break, what the latest intelligence says.
On Face the Nation, the way to learn is to listen.
We may have a recession.
Listening to how someone explains